Hey yo, thanks for tuning in to Celeb Sauce. It's the backup channel backing Celeb up and bringing you all the breaking news. If you know hip-hop, love hip-hop, and follow hip-hop, then you know that Lord Jamar is usually a constant guest on Vlad TV. But recently, Lord Jamar came out and said he's not rocking with Vlad. When Farrakhan came out and made the statements in support of Kyrie and Kanye, Vlad made some disparaging remarks about Minister Farrakhan, and that did not sit well with Lord Jamar. And Lord Jamar wanted him to apologize, but that culture vulture refused. So now that Lord Jamar is no longer rocking with Vlad, he has popped up on somebody else's show, and he had some interesting things to say about the recent Ye controversies. Check out what Lord Jamar had to say.
Did you think Nori had to apologize for Kanye West?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Like, why apologize? You know what I mean? Like, if you think about the reason why I'm not on that other platform is because that man, that Jewish man, would not apologize to the minister.
Correct.
Someone that we revere in our culture.
Yes.
Who we feel is worthy of respect, who's helped to change people's utmost respect, who's helped to change people's lives in our community and just has done so much, has, you know, helped to put together the Million Man March, all of that. And you couldn't have the respect to give this man an apology, yet we are always expected to apologize when it's the reverse. As if white people's pain and their disrespect is worse than ours. You know what I mean?
Correct.
It's like everything that you know, with white people, we think is better. We think their ice is colder, their ice cubes is colder. We think their you know, their cars is better, their house, everything we think that they have is better. And we also think that their pain hurts more.
And why you think that is?
Because we've been taught to love them more than we love ourselves.
Damn.
By the slave master. That's the we sick massa syndrome.
House and shit.
But see, hip hop is the roof is on fire. You know, that really goes back to Malcolm X. They was talking about how that goes back to Malcolm X, how he talks about, you know, the slave, the field nigga, when the slave master's house was on fire, he hoped this is a strong wind, so that the motherfucker will burn down. It's the house nigga that's looking for the water.
Put it out.
So in hip hop, we say the roof is on fire. We don't need no water. Let that motherfucker burn. Burn, motherfucker. Burn.
Lord Jamar also went on to talk about the fact that even though he doesn't agree with what Ye said about Hitler, he does believe that he has the right to say it because free speech is an important pillar in U.S. society, unless, of course, that speech is harmful to another person. For example, you know it's illegal to shout out like fire in a movie theater because people could begin running and somebody could cause a stampede and someone could get hurt. So that is illegal. So even though we have quote unquote free speech, it is not 100% free. And really quick, while we're on the subject of Ye has recently come out, and Ye is now, I guess, Dr. Ye, because he has self-diagnosed himself. Ye says he does not have schizophrenia, and he says he is not bipolar. Instead, Ye says that he believes that he is on the autistic spectrum. Ye said, quote, "In no way. I am not bipolar. I'm not in some kind of episode, but I may be slightly autistic, like Rain Man, and that's part of my superpower. That's why I can produce tracks, design, and do so many things." End quote. I I don't know if Dr. Ye is 100% correct. I'm gonna need a second opinion from Dr. Dame Dash. Check out what Dr. Dash has to say.
He's bipolar, and people forget that. I don't care how rich you are. When you have a chemical imbalance, you're gonna say some crazy things. Anybody know somebody bipolar? You don't put him in front of a camera, you put him in the house or the hospital. But what happens with him? Because you say the most outlandish things, you know, when you're triggered. And there's a chemical imbalance, and also when you're tired. It's like being drunk. But you know, I know him. But yeah, I do talk to him, and I try. And it's painful to watch. Because someone bipolar with $1 billion and a whole bunch of people that don't care, it's not a good formula. You know, people should be more worried about his health than worried about what he says.
Yeah, I think we're going to have to agree with Dr. Dash on this one. Let's keep Ye in prayer because there's a lot going on there. Now, while we're talking about people that we're keeping in prayer, Offset recently did a performance. And before the performance started, he posted a very large picture of Takeoff while playing the Jackson 5's Never Can Say Goodbye. And he walks on stage and he looks at the photo and he pays respect to his fallen brother. A little later on, he made a statement online which said, quote, "Before every show, I love you, bruh, LL rocket ship emoji," end quote. I think that's pretty sweet, and I'm sure that the fans appreciated it. So now we know that Offset is going to get back on stage and he's going to be rocking arenas. But my question now is, has anybody seen Quavo? You know, he has been, in the cut. And do you think that Quavo is calling it quits for the hip hop thing? Or do you think he's going to return to the stage someday too? Let me know in the comments. Now, no one can deny that Lil Baby has been having an incredible run for the last few years. After leaving the streets from selling drugs, he went and released his first debut album, and he became one of hip-hop's most notable names. He was even given his own day in Atlanta last month. Yes, that's right, November 13th is now known as Dominic Little Baby Jones Day. Well, there's no doubt that Atlanta loves Lil Baby, and Lil Baby loves Atlanta right back. As a matter of fact, Lil Baby bigged up his city and called Atlanta the epicenter of hip-hop culture. Lil Baby said,
definitely before I start, I'm gonna definitely give a big shout out to Atlanta, the whole city. And I definitely appreciate them for giving me recognition like that. And as far as culture, I feel like I've been feeling Atlanta is like the root of the culture as far as like hip hop. What I feel like right now, like it hasn't been a new artist in like the last 2 or 3 years that really just emerged. But for the most part, I feel like Atlanta still got the root of the hip hop core culture.
Very interesting. Do you agree with Lil Baby? Do you believe that Atlanta has hip-hop on lockdown? Do you believe that Atlanta rules hip-hop? And if so, is that a good thing or a bad thing? Because I don't know, for me, I used to prefer when hip-hop was regional. You know what I'm saying? You had your West Coast rap, you had your New York rap, you had your down south rap. And for me, it added a little bit more diversity to what was out there. I don't know, think about it. In one place you had your Wu-Tang banging. In another place you had your Snoop Dogg and Dr. Dre banging. In another place you had your Outkast banging. You know what I'm saying? And then when you went to the club, the DJ put it all together and you were partying all night long. Nowadays, what do you got? You got the same trap song over and over and over again. And everybody's using the same auto-tune, so everybody sounds the same. I mean, it's so confusing. When a song comes on nowadays, I don't know whether it's Little Baby, I don't know whether it's Medium Baby, or I don't know whether it's Large Baby who's rapping. Nah, I'm just playing. But for real though, let me know your opinion in the comments. Does Atlanta run the rap scene? Is Atlanta the epicenter of rap? Well, as you know, Benzino came out a few days ago or a few weeks ago, and he said that Lil Baby is the Tupac Shakur of this generation. While I don't know if that is true, what I do know is that Tupac's house was recently listed for sale. The 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom townhouse that Tupac spent years in on Greenmont Ave in the Penn Lucie neighborhood of Baltimore went on the market on November 2nd, and the property was listed, forget this, the property was listed for $179,000. And the real estate listing said, quote, purchase a piece of Baltimore property, end quote. Pac and his family moved into the first floor apartment of the property in 1984 when he was 13, and he eventually attended Baltimore School for the Arts, where he met and befriended Jada Entanglement Pinkett Smith. I would think that Tupac's old house would go for more than $179,000. But if you're a real estate investor and like you're a flipper, that would be a pretty good deal, because I'm wondering if like you could take the house and you could turn it into a museum the same way they did with Martin Luther King Jr.'s house down in Georgia. See, now that would be a very good investment. See, now that I'm thinking about Tupac, now that makes me think of like Poetic Justice, and that makes me think of Janet Jackson. And it appears that Janet Jackson is back, and she just announced a new tour for 2023, and Janet says there is new music coming. If you remember, when Janet Jackson first made her comeback after the whole like Super Bowl shenanigans, her plans for a tour were disrupted by the COVID-19 pandemic, and a lot of her fans were very disappointed. But now Janet has announced that she will be starting the tour up again in celebration of her 50-year milestone in the entertainment industry. The Together Again tour will feature Ludacris and will also highlight 2 of her most iconic releases, the Velvet Rope album and the Janet album, in addition to spotlighting new music and her greatest hits. So far, Janet has scheduled shows at arenas and amphitheaters in 33 cities across North America, and the tour will kick off on April 14th in Hollywood, Florida. Hey yo, I'm happy for Janet. Janet is out there doing things in her 50s that most chicks cannot do in their 20s. Janet is doing her thing. And you know what I was talking about when I was talking about musicians who love the music? Janet doesn't have to do this anymore. Janet has enough coins in the bank to just like relax forever, okay? Not only does she have her own cash, but if you remember, she married that billionaire, right? And she got some of his cash too. But she still wants to give us a performance. I love it. And while we're on the subject of longevity, which one of these newfangled hip-hop artists do you think is still gonna be around in 50 years rocking the mic? Is Glorilla still gonna be rapping tomorrow? Is Icy Spicy still gonna be munching? Is NBA Youngboy gonna turn into NBA Old Boy? Hey yo, let me know in the comments who's gonna still be around in 50 years rocking that mic. Now, while we're on the subject of longevity, we would be remiss if we didn't mention your boy Sean Puffy Combs. This weekend, the bad boy popped out a baby out of nowhere, and we were like, what is this, right? So a lot of people were trying to figure out, like, who is the baby mama? We know it's not Young Miami, so who is the mother of this child? According to the birth certificate obtained by TMZ, Diddy is listed as the father of baby girl Love Sean Combs, that was born on October 15th, while the mother is listed as Dana Tran, a 28-year-old cybersecurity specialist who appears to be from Southern California, where the baby was born. Listen, to tell you the truth, I could honestly care less who P. Diddy is sleeping with and having babies with. What bothers me more about this story is how the heck did TMZ get the birth certificate? Aren't there supposed to be things called HIPAA laws? This is why I'm very concerned about society, man. Who is the nurse, the doctor, or the person who's working in the hospital who is sliding information to TMZ? That is nuts. Look, we may not know a lot about P. Diddy's new baby mama, but we do know one thing. She's not a very good cybersecurity specialist, because if she was, TMZ wouldn't be out there with her baby's birth certificate showing it online. Now, would they? Listen, in a dramatic turn of events, renowned actor Terrence Howard says he's ready to call it quits. He is ready to retire from acting. During an interview with Entertainment Tonight on the red carpet for the upcoming Peacock series The Best Man, The Final Chapters, Howard revealed that he's ready to walk away from acting and make room for the new generations of thespians establishing themselves as stars in the business. Terrence said, quote, "This is the end for me. I don't know if it's the end for the rest of them. I retired 2 years ago. For the most part, I was done. I asked Sidney Poitier 10 years ago, does he want to do any more work? And he said, why would I spend my last 10 years doing an impersonation of myself? And that's what I've gotten to." End quote. Oh, say it ain't so, Terrence. Say it ain't so. Hey yo, kudos to Terrence Howard. He has put in the work and he has given us many movies and series and dramatic parts that we can really enjoy for a very long time to come. And, you know, sometimes you just gotta retire. Sometimes you don't want to do everything forever. You know what I'm saying? You want to go and live your life, especially when you got the coins in the bank so that you can do so. So we wish Terrence Howard well. My only question is, if all of our light-skinned, light-eyed men retire early from acting, then who's going to be left around to play our light-skinned, light-eyed old men in the movies in the future? Michael Ealy can't play all of those parts. Hey yo, thanks for tuning in to Celeb Source, your source for celebrity news. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. Peace.